On the 3rd of January 2017, we were told our 4-year-old son had cancer.
Young parents James and Vicky Woodall received the news that no parent ever expects to hear. In just one sentence, their lives changed significantly. This is the story of George and the Giant Pledge.
To look at, he was a perfectly fit and well little boy, but just a few short weeks before we'd found a lump on his back completely out of the blue, and from that moment on, our world got turned upside down. George was diagnosed with a rare peanut Ewing sarcoma. Now, only 30 kids get this in the UK every year. It's not genetic, it's nothing to do with the environment, it's just pure bad luck, thought to be started by speed of growth in children.
The news shook the family to the core. Suddenly, rather than going to school or playing football, George and his family were visiting dedicated hospitals for children with cancer. Vicky explains just what such a place is like.
As you can imagine, we were devastated. In going through the motions of George's diagnosis, we spent an awful lot of time at the Oak Centre for Children at the Royal Marsden in Sutton, which is a dedicated specialist unit for children and teenagers with cancer. It was possibly the most harrowing yet heartwarming place we've ever been. The children were clearly so poorly, but they'd all have a smile on their face, with the amazing Marsden team going out of their way to make all the horrific and gruelling treatments that much more manageable.
Then, in the most incredible show of strength, whilst you may not blame the Woodall family for having a lot on their plate, they fought back against the disease that had now changed their lives.
It was on New Year's Eve 2016, going into 2017, we decided to set up George and the Giant Pledge. It was our giant pledge to raise what was originally £100,000 to help beat childhood cancer, as no child should lose their childhood to this awful disease. Now, unbelievably, we smashed that target in 2 short weeks. And bear in mind, this was all alongside George getting his cancer diagnosis on the 3rd of January, then his chemo starting, having had surgery to have a Hickman line inserted, and all the rabbit in the headlights stuff we were going through at that period of time. We started writing a daily blog to help raise awareness of childhood cancer, as well as help raise this money to help fund research and support for the children, because during this process we learnt just how woefully underfunded childhood cancer research is. I mean, did you know that just 1% of all Cancer Research UK's donations go towards childhood cancer research? Yet despite children featuring heavily in their ads, that's just 6 million of 647 million in one financial year for all 250 plus types of childhood cancer.
I think you'll happily agree Vicky and the Woodall family's resilience is simply unfathomable. With a fundraising target smashed in 2 weeks, they did not rest on their laurels.
Having hit our original £100,000 target, we decided to add a nought to it. We now had a goal of raising £1 million to help beat childhood cancer, all whilst navigating George's treatment, including his chemo, his surgery, his proton therapy, as well as maintaining some sort of family life for him and his big brother Alex, and just trying to get ourselves through this. We've had all sorts of fundraisers, from cake sales to events like we had a barn dance, we've had parties, we've had quizzes with all sorts of business helping us. Honestly, you name it, we've done it. Alex even shaved his hair to raise money for the pledge, which was just unbelievable. Honestly, people have jumped out of aeroplanes. It's been just a phenomenal last 2 years. And believe it or not, we're currently at £926,000, so we're so close to hitting our target. So we're now on the big push, the final countdown to help raise our £1 million to beat childhood cancer, which means we're doing everything and anything in our powers to get there, which includes having run not for more than a train since leaving school. I've taken on a place at the London Marathon, giving myself just 12 weeks to train from absolutely nothing to being a 26.2 mile marathon runner. And Woody has also taken on the Brighton Marathon, which is 2 weeks before London on the 14th of April.
You, like me, are probably thinking, how on earth are they doing all of this whilst having to watch their own child go through cancer treatment? Vicky explains that the fundraising is in fact an incredibly efficient and inspirational coping mechanism for her and her family.
Some days I think we're absolutely mad, doing all of this whilst George was going through treatment, but actually what it did for us is it gave us hope, it gave us something to focus on, it gave us the feeling that even though we were going something that was the most horrific experience of our lives, that actually another family would benefit from all the other crazy stuff that we were doing. It meant that people would become more aware of all the ins and outs of childhood cancer and what the kids go through, because childhood cancer is different to adult cancer, and the young ones, they don't understand what's going on with them. The teenagers, they lose a lot of their friendships. There's so many social things that go on for them. They're in a key developmental part of their lives, and yet their world's just completely turned upside down. And sadly, so many of them don't make it. 11 children a day are diagnosed with cancer in the UK, and 3 of those will go on to die. That's 1 in 500 children under the age of 14, making it the UK's single largest disease killer of our children. I'm happy to say that as it stands, George is now a healthy and happy 6-year-old and is currently disease-free. Yes, he has a lot of leftovers from his cancer treatment, like from his surgery where they removed part of his spine and 3 muscles from his back. He now has scoliosis and has to wear a body brace for 23 hours a day, and will have to have corrective surgery by the time he finishes growing at the age of 16 or so. There's in fact 60% of children that have cancer go on to have life-limiting issues and problems as a direct result of all their treatment. But the most important thing is he's still here.
I hope you're not a bumbling mess like I am right now, but I think you'll agree that the defiance shown in the hardest, very, very darkest place by the Woodall family is just something so very special. Here is how you can help beat childhood cancer.
Just go to giantpledge.com and you can read more about what we're up to and where our mission started and how George is doing. The daily blog features on there, or you can go onto Facebook and look back through all the daily posts that we've put up, or search at Giant Pledge on Twitter or Instagram. You can find us on any of those places basically. But yeah, if you wanted to donate, there's links on all of them to go through to our Just Giving page, our Giant Pledge Just Giving page with the Royal Marsden, and that's where every penny we raise goes to that amazing team there to help, as I say, fund childhood cancer research or support through their play therapists, whatever it might be, to help beat childhood cancer and put a stop to this awful disease. And if you happen to have any fundraising ideas, then also get in touch at georgeandthegiantpledge@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. We'll bring in the Marsden, whether it be your time, talent or tenacity. We could do as much help as we could get to hit that £1 million target. And if you think that already the £900,000 that we've raised is a 15% increase on the 6 million that went into childhood cancer research in a single year with Cancer Research UK, then just think of the difference that it's making and what you could do to help.
A truly remarkable story. George and the Giantest of Pledges is very nearly complete, and I'll leave the last words with the simply remarkable Vicky Woodall.
As we say on our blog post every single night, between us, we've got this.